Hi, everybody. My name is Brittany Schools, and I work here at Legacy, and I get the privilege and honor to share with you today. And the question we were asked was, what has God been teaching you? And I just wanted to tell you a quick story about how God is teaching me this phrase called sit tight. I have 3 sons. They're all older. I was in MOPS with all of them years and years and years ago. They're all older now. I have a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old. And my 20-year-old, his name is Josiah. He leads worship at the Olathe campus, and he just got engaged. It's very exciting, and we are so in love with the girl that he's chosen to marry. Her name is Hope. And being the mother-in-law has been a new and different experience for me, the mother-in-law to be. I'm kind of a take charge person, maybe a little bit of a control freak, you might say. So it's been interesting for me to sit back and let things happen, wedding planning, and not take charge. So I'm about to tell you a story. So if you know Josiah and Hope, has to be like kept on the down low, okay? But if you want to see pictures later, I will definitely give you pictures of what I'm about to talk about. Here you go. So Josiah and Hope got engaged, and one of the first things they started working on was the invitations. And Hope sent me a text of a picture that she had hand-drawn of the two of them. She said, "This is what I'm working on for the invitation. Here's the wording. Do you have any suggestions on the wording?" And I did have some suggestions that I gently replied back to her, but I was like, oh no, about the picture she was drawing. But I didn't say anything, and I showed my best friend, and she said, "Yeah, you can't say anything." And I was like, but I have strong feelings about this. And she said, "It doesn't matter. You can't say anything." So I didn't say anything, and I just prayed about it, and I prayed the Lord would give me maybe an opportunity to say maybe a different direction or whatever, just super gently, super lovingly. And the next weekend, they're in college, they came home from college to come back here to Kansas City. And I was hearing Hope, the daughter-in-law to be, talking to my best friend, and they were talking about the invitations. And my friend asked, tell me about what you're working on. And she said, "Oh, well, I was working on the invitations, but everybody hates them and they're turning out terribly, and I'm just so stressed out." And so, of course, being the encourager my friend is, she was like, "Oh, I'm sure you're going to be able to use them, somehow maybe as thank you notes or something, just very encouraging," but also turned to me and kind of had a little wink because we were like, "Oh, they're not going to use us as invitations." And, I'm trying not to insert myself, just sitting back calmly. And then the next weekend, they talked to me about the Google Doc with all of the names. And of course, my son, bless him, he had forgotten a lot of even our family members' names on the list. And they had like the COVID list, if we could only have 100 people, and then, who all we want to invite from everywhere. And I was like, do I add names? Do I rearrange? What do I do? And turns out they were like, just take control of the list. Just do whatever you want to do. And I was like, great. That's what I like. Give me control. So I organized the list, and I'm writing in names. Everything's working out beautifully, but I'm still concerned about the invitations. And the next weekend, which is just last weekend, you guys, they came home, and she said, "Hey, Brittany, I want to ask you something, and I really need your help." And I was like, "Yeah, sweetie, whatever you need me to do." Thinking, I'll do everything, but I'm not saying that. And she says, "Can you just take the invitations? Because they're just stressing me out, and I just want you to take all of it, and you just do whatever you think is good." And I was like, no way did I just get asked to do the invitations. The thing I wanted to do anyway, the thing I had strong feelings about anyway, now I've been asked to take over. So I'm super excited now because I'm doing the invitations for the wedding. But God just wanted me to sit tight. Like, you don't have to insert your opinion all the time, Brittany. You don't have to be in control of things. Just sit tight and let me work it out. And that is one of I'm going to say 5,000 ways that he has done this to me over these last 6 months. And so I just want to ask, maybe is God telling you to sit tight? What has he been telling you to sit tight about? Has your patience level been tested? I know mine has. My house has not been quiet, and I haven't really been alone in it for 6 months. Maybe Your creativity that you've had to use throughout this COVID experience is really wavering and you don't have any more of it. Like there's no more puzzles, no more games, no more outside play. Like maybe that's where you need to sit tight and let God just show up. I think sometimes we just need to say, where is the Lord? What is the Lord doing? Where do I see his fingerprints? Where do I see him at work? And sometimes when we want him to show up, when we want him to work, we just got to sit tight. He just wants us to sit tight and be patient and wait on him and look around and see where he is working around us and then just be thankful for those things. I just have one verse to encourage you with. It's Ephesians 4, verses 1 through 3. And it says, I urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. Let me just remind you guys, you've been called to motherhood. It's your calling. It's what you're doing right now. And it is a high calling, worthy of high praise, but it can be hard, difficult, and it can be trying, especially right now. The second thing it says is to do it with all humility. And I will tell you, motherhood will humble you. It really will. I could tell 1,000 stories about that. I have been humbled over and over and over again. And it says to do it with gentleness. And that would be as opposed to being harsh. I can have a tendency when my, patience is fried and when my brain is fried and when I'm just done with all the people in my grill all day long. It's hard for me to be gentle. I just want to encourage you to be gentle today. And then it says, with patience. And that's my sit tight moment. So sometimes you just got to sit tight and wait on the Lord. And the last thing says, bearing with one another in love. And I just hope that you can bear with one another, with your family, with your friends. Think about ways that you can be there for them. You can show up for them. People are going through hard times right now. Think about how you can bear with one another in love. So I just encourage you guys to sit tight, wait on the Lord, and think about what is the Lord doing in your life? And really pray that he'll allow you to share that with someone. Bye, guys.